was about the Arts Lab in London too. And I came back to London in the summer, the late summer of 1968. It was a strange time altogether. The spirit of the time was rampant with mayhem and discord. By the way, Daisy over there has done a YouTube video of the Summer of Love. The spirit of the time was full of mayhem and discord. Chairman Mao's little red book jostled with the embryonic reality of a cybernetic age. Angry anarchists vied with whacked out weirdos. Reality freaks versus space cadets. Past the liberation and blow your mind. We were on a freewheeling roller coaster from sexual liberation to spiritual upsurges. Helter-skelter from drugs and rock and roll to macrobiotics and yoga. It was the moment to smash the clocks and arrest time. Revolutionary fervor was running amok. Radical situationists were storming the barricades in Paris. In London, dropout, homeless and students were squatting empty properties. And in Europe and elsewhere there were violent demonstrations against the war in Vietnam. And in the USA, Black Power erupted into race riots. And at the end of August, the Soviet invasion of Czechoslovakia laid waste to the dream of the Prague Spring. Wearing a flower in your hair and saying far out man sure as hell didn't endear you to heavy political heads. Also at the Arts Lab when I met her. That September, just a stone's throw from the Arts Lab, the hippie musical Hair opened and let the sun shine in with numbers like Sodomy and Hashish. We would rush through the auditorium as the show ended and dance on the stage with the actors and audience. The Lord Chamberlain's powers of theatre censorship had just been abolished after hundreds of years. Later that month, I went to Amsterdam in search of a roving street theatre group called the Human Family, which was the creation of the mother of the family, my old friend Jack. They just toured the hip capitals of Europe during the summer, creating their spontaneous happenings and festivals. I met up with them at the Fantasia in Prince Henry Carder, now the Cosmos. It was like setting foot on some strange film set, watching a surreal movie being made of this new utopia, where long-haired tourists lounge on carpeted rostra, sipping blue tea and smoking dope. It was the first of its kind, and Amsterdam was a magnetic center of the new Stone Age. That night I joined them in their woodbeams attic above some artist studios. This troop of ragged, wild-eyed poets and gentle, blissful dreamers in their faded hippie finery. We squatted in a circle, eating quietly our beggar's banquet of rice, fried beans, onions and carrots. We were a motley crew, some 20 of us from many countries, sleeping in our loused up bags and blankets. And then it happened. Early one morning we were raided and bundled off to the central police station. One by one we were searched, our belts and personal belongings taken away, and we were locked up in solitary confinement. After the initial outrage and excitement, the perverse pleasure of an absurd situation, I felt calm and relaxed. The endless banging and prolonged screams of my brothers and sisters had subsided in exhaustion. Long hours of random thoughts and growing claustrophobia passed by. Then I heard Sondas, our Italian brother, banging against his cell door, letting out a strange, terrible cry that ended up in uncontrollable weeping. Then there was a deep silence. That night I was taken to the Hook of Holland where I was deported without having committed a crime nor being charged for one. Dutch police report London Theatre Group was the headline in the Sunday paper. That was my rite of passage to the human family. I arrived back at the Arts Laboratory in September. As the cold winter, the casualties of the love generation mounted. The warm glow of the Arts Lab attracted the shoddy array of the dispossessed and unloved. Wounded were turning this once derelict warehouse into a communal doss house. Its proximity to nearby Piccadilly Circus attracted a flotsam of the lonely streets, lost denizens looking for a place to go, to belong. The first devotees of the Hare Krishna movement arrived from America and set up a temple just around the corner. I remember the first ecstatic chanting sessions held in the Arts Lab with Guru Das and Mukunda in their flowing saffron robes and shaven heads. The magic of the place was that it often came alive in spontaneous events and the rich camaraderie of shared ideals. On one occasion, we were sitting about and nothing particular was happening when a white Rolls Royce stopped outside the entrance, and in walked a somberly gaunt young man wearing a Mao-style blue denim outfit and cap. This was the time of the Chinese Red Guard and the Cultural Revolution. At his side was a petite Japanese woman with long hair, draped in an ankle-length black cape. It was John Lennon and Yoko Ono. They joined us and crouched on the floor with their knees up. One of us went up and whispered to them. John nodded and they got up and went to a back room. Later asked my friend what had he said to Lennon, and he replied, I asked them if they would like to share a joint with me. John and Yoko became frequent visitors to the lab. The white Rolls Royce would arrive and take Jimmy back to their Surrey mansion, where they'd go to the newly opened Sea Aquatic restaurant in Bayswater. At the Arts Lab, all was not well. On November the 15th, a notice was posted informing the lab staff that the human family, from The hour had come. The crowd buzzed with excitement, but nothing happened. The audience started to fidget in their seats. There was an air of anxiety about. Then I noticed a small, bedraggled figure of Jack Moore walking slowly through the crowded well of the hall, his finger to his lips beckoning silence. By the time he reached the front of the stage, there was a silence only broken by the odd nervous guffaw or raucous catcall from the back. The silence became long and deep. It seemed to engulf us. Then almost out of nowhere, someone banged a drum. There was an ecstatic cry of joy. The Krishna devotees began to chant, and I found myself swept off my feet by the momentum. The space in front of the stage filled with swaying, swirling bodies, high on the energy created out of the silence. It was J. Henry Moore's finest moment. This was the culmination of what the human family was about. Theatre, in its highest form, was an act of communal magic that could transcend earthbound reality. Musicians played, poets ranted, and John and Yoko crept into a white sheet-like bag on the stage and stayed there out of sight for what seemed like ages. I watched the baby slowly crawl by, and that was the bag happening. All mayhem broke out when a young female member of the audience stripped off her clothes and danced in naked delight. When the police were called and attendants tried to remove her, groups of people started stripping off all their clothes in solidarity. There was a retreat and a truce was worked out, and no one was arrested. The nude girl incident with the accompanying photo made the front pages of the London Evening paper. The alchemical wedding had a profound effect on many of us who were there that night. It touched our lives and helped bring about changes. There's a difference between what a person does and what happens by itself. You will set yourself a task with determination and tenacity, and then suddenly a gust of wind will come from another world and everything changes. You seem to be used by the gods, and in spite of yourself, you are part of the myth. Sorry for the long piece, but that was my summer of '68. Thank you for your kind patience. Thank you for listening to our set. Thank you, it was really great to play such an intense, wonderful audience. And I think now Georgina will do some vocal for us.